All right, this is Hennessy on Hockey, and Marv Lyre is going to join us when we come back after this break. This is Hennessy on Hockey on the mighty 790 KFGO. We're back. We're back. It's Hennessy on Hockey on the mighty 790 KFGO, and he has arrived. Marv Lyre is with us. Good morning, Marv. Good evening, whatever the heck it is.
Yeah. Hey, sorry about that, Tim. I was running a little bit late, but I'm glad I'm here.
Things happen, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I was talking about it earlier, and I just think it'd be so interesting for people that are listening to hear about the stories of you between the benches and the things that you've seen and heard.
Well,
there's got to be some that make your face turn red, and then there's got to be some that make you break out laughing.
Well, there's a lot. You got to remember, I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to do this for a long time. And I wish I could remember all the things. I remember some of the funnier things that have happened. Like, I remember the one time Jordan Parisi, who was playing backup goaltender, he was just kind of standing right next to me, and all of a sudden UND's clearing the puck, and it's coming right at me, and my instinct was to duck and just to kind of turn and just kind of take the brunt of the puck, and it hit me, and it never did hit me, and I looked over there, and Jordan had his glove up, and he basically saved my bacon.
Were you wearing a helmet yet then?
No, I wasn't at that time. That was before.
That you didn't wear a helmet before.
Yeah.
Even that's as nutty as it gets right there.
Well, and at that time, I was standing on a stool. I pretty much had protective glass all the way around me. And when he saved that puck, I looked over there and I said to him, "Hey, thanks for saving my bacon." And he said, "Don't worry, I wasn't doing anything anyway."
Do you have favorite coaches or anything down there from the opposition that come in?
There's a lot of people that don't particularly like George Gwozdecki, but yeah. I always thought he was a great guy.
Oh, I got along with George. I miss him. I think the game misses him.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked him down there. He's passionate, right? Like a lot of the hockey coaches are. And but he was always nice. He'd always come in there and say hi. I guess he kind of recognized me because I've been there a long time. And and this weekend. Andy Murray's coming in, and Andy always comes by and says hello to me, and he's an intense man too when he's down there, and I'm kind of looking forward this weekend to him coming. He really likes to ride the refs.
Oh, this is a precious story. This is about Andy Murray, right? Because I was talking to him. What year was it? It was before they were in our league, right? And might have even been his first or second year at Western. And I'm talking to him before we're playing him in the NCAA playoffs, regional, at the XL Energy Center. And I'm talking to him, he goes, the thing I can't understand about they said the god darn coaches and the officials come over and they talk to him and they talk to him and they talk, just play the game, right?
Right, exactly.
So while we're playing them that day, that's what he did. Every time an official come over to maybe explain something, he'd wave him off. Sure. And now he spends half the game talking to those guys.
Oh, he's always on them. I think it's part of his strategy just to kind of see if he can get under their skin.
Is he worse than Bobby Motzko?
He's good too.
Yeah.
He's always good to bring him over and talk to him quite a bit and to kind of give him the hey, what's going on kind of a deal. And this year when we were playing Minnesota, I have to tell you, this is a kind of a funny story too. Do you remember the call where we got called for tripping and then their guy got called for embellishment?
Yep.
Well, Coach wasn't very happy.
Coach
about
Lucia
that.
not that happy.
He was not happy at all. Neither
Displeased
was
with the
Gensel.
call.
Very much so. I would say very much so. And so every time when the play was resumed, any time a ref or a linesman would go back and forth in front of them, they let them know that they weren't very happy. And then when there was a TV timeout, the linesman kind of backed up to me and I said, "Oh, by the way, Coach thinks you're an awful ref." And he looked at me, he started laughing, and he knew I was joking. And he says, "Oh, you heard that, did you?"
It was funny when we were in Denver, a reference to one of the frozen face-off games last year. I think it was the one against Duluth, when UND might have got hosed a little bit by the officials in that. And I think Dane Jackson used a reference to Gino Binda about that game, and you could hear it over our because our ice mic in Denver was over next to kind of on the glass next to their bench, ways down, but you could hear. That's it. Shut the F up, Jackson.
Exactly, and you hear that a lot. And though I do have to say, I'm very impressed with the coaches by and large, the way they work with the players. They do a really nice job from the little bit that I hear in between.
Positive,
my director.
mostly?
It's positive. Yeah, very positive. Every once in a while you have to, call a timeout and let your players know that what they're doing isn't acceptable. And I think we saw that this past weekend from both sides, actually.
Huh.
And but you got to remember, those coaches, they want to win. They're passionate. The players, sometimes they're on their game and sometimes they're not. So it's kind of fun just to be down there and just be a part of that action.
Marv Lyer is with us. He's the cameraman down between the benches here at Ralph Engelstad Arena. And tell us the story a little bit of how you started. You wear a different hockey jersey every game.
Yeah, that actually started later. Initially, like I said earlier, I was very protected with the glass. In fact, I was so protected, it was hard to get a decent shot. So I actually stood on a kind of a step stool, a 3-step stool, and I was above the players. I could see above the players. But somewhere, probably about 8 years ago, they tried to reduce all the corners in a rink, as many as they could. So what they did is they removed the glass in front of me. So that kind of left me quite exposed. And so I started wearing pads and a helmet. And then to cover up all that padding, I just started wearing some jerseys that I had. And I had, at that time, probably about a dozen, maybe 15 different jerseys. And I just kept rotating through them. And then pretty soon, my sons, for Christmas gifts and Father's Day, they'd get me a new jersey, that kind of thing. And then I started wearing those. And pretty soon, friends would loan me jerseys. And now I probably
you
have
get them from all over the place, don't you?
Yeah, and now I have in my own collection about 55, I think,
really?
At last count. Yeah.
Holy man.
And then, but almost every weekend, someone will come up to me and say, "Hey, I've got a jersey if you're interested." And then, usually they're pretty unique and kind of cool, and I'll say, "Sure, I'll wear it if that's the case." But sometimes you'll get a college student who'll say, "Hey, can you wear an intramural jersey?" And it's nothing special. I'll kind of nicely decline.
But like Saturday was appropriate. You had a New Jersey Devils Zach Parise jersey on when he was here to drop the ceremonial first puck.
Yeah, actually had two of them. I don't know if you noticed or not.
You had a white one on. I saw you had a white one. Then you had a red one on when you went out.
I changed. Yeah. I changed in between periods. I had a white New Jersey Devils, and then a friend of mine loaned me his red one. So I had two, and I said, sure, I'll wear them. I'll wear them both. They both got his name on it. I thought it was kind of a Parise weekend, if you will. So, I try to pick out different ones.
One more question before we have to go. Do you get to see much of the game really as a hockey game?
Very little.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it was Saturday. At one point, I looked up to see what period it was and what the score was, because I kind of get in the zone following the game, and you kind of lose track of all that, what's going on.
Mark, we're going to do this again when we have more time, okay?
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry I missed it. That would have been a lot of fun. I could sit and talk hockey with you all day.
Yeah, I know it. We'll do it, too. We'll do it again for sure. Thanks for coming by, though.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Marv Lyer's been our guest on Hennessy on Hockey and the Mighty 790 KFGO. You want to stay tuned because UND basketball, North Dakota, and Presentation College is coming up. Pre-game show with Paul Ralston. Till next Tuesday night. For Derek Hansen, thanks for his work as the producer and the fill-in. This is Tim Hennessy saying good night and thanks on the Mighty 790 KFGO.